This is World Now on TVC News. I am Abosadi Adeniwa. We're beginning from the United States, where a federal court has blocked President Donald Trump's wide-range tariffs in a major blow to his economic policies. Some tariffs which have been subject to a thorough process, such as steel, aluminum, and cars, will not be affected by this ruling. We have a report.
The three judges ruled that President Trump overstepped his authority when he used an emergency law to impose tariffs on nearly all countries. The court ruling also blocks the separate levies the U.S. imposed on China, Mexico, and Canada. The ruling is no doubt a serious blow to one of President Trump's key economic policies, which he has aggressively pursued in the last 2 months. Mr. Trump had said he has the powers to impose trade tariffs because he was responding to a national emergency needed by the U.S. economy and saw no need to wait for legislation from Congress to apply import taxes on goods coming in from other countries. But the U.S. Court of International Trade rules that he exceeded the authority of the emergency powers. For that reason, the court has given the White House 10 days to complete the process of removing almost all tariffs, maintaining that they were imposed illegally. Within minutes, the Trump administration filed an appeal, saying it isn't in the place of unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency. This means a higher court will have to make it clear whether President Trump can unilaterally impose import tariffs. The ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade has thrown all the nation's ongoing trade negotiations with dozens of countries into chaos.
A global affairs analyst, Dr. Jide Ojo, joins me for more. Good to have you join us, Dr. Ojo. What is the implication of this federal court's decision blocking President Trump's wide-range tariffs, first on the U.S. economy and more generally on the global stage?
Thank you, Abosede. Good afternoon and happy, I should think, happy unbroken 26 years of civil rule, even though our democracy day is on June 12th. Well, the implications are, there are a wide range of implications about this block of tariff hike by the U.S. court. First is the fact that in a country where an elected president appears to be running the country like a sole administrator, without proper checks by the other arms of government like the Congress or the Legislative Assembly and the judiciary, it's very dangerous if Donald Trump is allowed to continue to run the country as if no other arms of government exist beyond the executive. He's castigating their lordship that unelected judges cannot determine for him the emergency laws he should operate. But that is what made America the bastion of democracy, that there are checks and balances. And this is one of the classical examples of checks and balances in a democracy. There are separations of power, separation of power, and then there are checks and balances. Now these three judges have said, you do not have these sweeping powers, these emergency powers that you are trying to claim. And similar judgments have also been given in issues around the deportation of unregulated immigrants. And so it's part of the checks and balances we see in a country where democracy works.
All right.
The other point is it has thrown up uncertainty in terms of the import and export sector of the U.S. economy, because people are not too sure. Even though the markets have rebounded and the U.S. dollar has gained strength, at least as at this morning, news reports has it that the dollar has gained strength. But you know, those who want to export to U.S. or those who want to import from U.S., who are already slammed with this tariff hike, 10% across the globe, and in some cases like that of Canada, Mexico, and which other country? There are 3 countries that have been said: China, Canada, Mexico, and China, where higher tariffs have been slammed. There are still negotiations going on, and this has thrown spanners in the works as to whether that kind of negotiation should not be altered for now until there is some level of certainty.
All right, Dr. Ojo. But as it stands now, the Trump administration has filed an appeal. What are their chances of a favorable judgment? And alternatively, do you suppose President Trump might eventually resort to following due process by seeking Congress approval for the tariffs?
I hope he does that, but it doesn't seem like a person who is willing to carry the Congress along in some of these things is doing. It's resorted to arbitrary use of executive orders rather than passing very key policy reforms through the Legislative Assembly. And that's the worrisome development. This is a democracy, for crying out loud. You cannot be running a country like America with over 250 years of electoral democracy behind it, like a country of anything goes, like a banana republic. And that's why this is very instructive. I just do hope. He has said he will challenge this at appellate court. Let's see how this pans out. Meanwhile, like I said, it has thrown up a lot of uncertainties because all the negotiations that are currently going on, either at multilateral or bilateral levels, may have to be suspended until there is some clarity as to what the court interpretation means and how. And there are speculations that this case may not be sorted out until when it gets to the Supreme Court of US, which is the apex court. But we wait to see how all of this pans out. But suffice to say that the lesson for African countries and Nigeria is that we should rule by the rule of law. Is not there as a decoration. Due process must be followed at all times. There are 3 arms of government, and none of them should work as if the others does not matter.
Global Affairs Analyst Dr. Jide Ojo, thank you for your time on World Now.
It's my pleasure. Ambassador, do it of your